So thank you so much for the introduction. I am Dr. Alec Cattell, and graphic design is not my passion. So I was jealous of some of the other PowerPoint presentations today. I actually asked PowerPoint to give me some design suggestions, and they suggested this image. So let's go ahead and launch this presentation. So being in humanities and applied linguistics, those are huge areas. They're very vast. And so I just want to give you a brief snapshot of what I do specifically within those areas today. So in the humanities, which areas do I work? In which areas do I work? Which questions drive my work? And which theories inform my work? Just a brief overview of that. I work really at the intersection of German studies and literary and cultural disability studies. So within German studies, I'm the newer stuff, that's my area, 20th and 21st century literature, kind of across borders and genres. I'm interested in the representation of disability, and beyond representation, I'm interested in disability aesthetics and rhetorics, as they are in the German language literature. The questions that interest me most, in the past, and a lot of my recent work have dealt with these questions. How is disability represented in literary text? And here I'm not about policing, is this a good representation or a bad one? But I am asking the question, how is it? What myths about disability that we know from the physical world are invoked or engaged or maybe subverted in literary texts? How is disability narrated? And does it or how does it drive the narrative? Are disability rhetorics at play in the text? And those are connected very much with those myths about disability. So they can be, they can reinforce stereotypes about disability, or they can subvert them and use disability in a new way, in productive ways that go beyond metaphorical readings. And also disability aesthetics, are they at work in the text? You know, this idea of brokenness and incompleteness, is that part of the work? That's just one question that I've been asking. These questions emerge from disability studies theory, the work of Mitchell and Snyder, narrative prosthesis. Jade Homage is amazing 2014 work on disability rhetorics. He has a choreography, really a great toolbox for scholars working with literature. And also there's a lot of connections to the classical world here. So I think there might be some potential collaboration there. Disability and narrative, Bay 2016, especially when it comes to intellectual disability and how that's part of narrative. Disability aesthetics, the work of the amazing Tobin Sievers, 2008, 2010. And again, with all of these theories, they're concerned with what's the connection between representation literature and experiences of disability. My current project in this area, right, is Perceptions of Disability in Short Stories that were published last year by the Austrian author Clemens J. Zetz. In applied linguistics, so big question here, which areas, which theories, and which scholars in applied linguistics inform my work currently? Some of this work, I've done previous work, and now I've been focusing on the humanities very much in recent years, but now I'm gearing up some projects in broadly conceived applied linguistics. So the area that I'm working in is foreign language pedagogy and curriculum design. I'm interested in philosophical conversations here about, at this level within, higher ed and applied linguistics when it comes to foreign language pedagogy and curriculum design. So the idea of post-method pedagogy has fascinated me since I read the work of Kumarava de Bello in 2001, focusing on what is the particularities of an institution, of your learners' needs, of resources at a given location. What's the practicality of your pedagogy and your curriculum, and what possibilities are there? So also the work of Richards, looking at moving away from kind of traditional notions of forward design and moving more toward central or even backward design, starting with outcomes, where do we need to get, and then letting that inform what we teach, how we teach it, how we assess it. Critical content-based instruction is something I'm recently getting into, where it's critical pedagogy. I think of the work of Paulo Freire and combining that with content-based instruction. So considering issues of democracy and and civil rights and social activism as part of language instruction. Also, project-based language learning is fascinating to me and something that I am working on a current project. Multiliteracies, I see that Kristen Michelson is on the meeting today. I'm interested in this work as well and combining that with in the context of these issues. Foreign language advocacy also connects well with that, and particularly for fostering intercultural competence to address global challenges is something that this is kind of the frame within which all of these areas come together for me in a current project, which is a chapter for a volume, and actually Rachel Busser mentioned that she's contributing to that as well. Belinda Kleinhans and I are developing a chapter called Towards Sustainability in German Curricula. And this chapter is emergent from the Global Readiness Through Language and Culture project, which a lot of us have been collaborating on that past couple of years. And so we're starting to kind of theorize in a more substantial way what we've been doing, and putting a model out there for other language programs who are interested in addressing issues of sustainability, planet, people, profits, right? So sustainability in a broad sense through the study of languages and cultures. So that was my super short presentation. Thank you very much for listening.